With Survivor Series coming up this weekend, just how would Raw's go-home show go? We'll tell you as WGS-TV reviews Monday Night Raw for the week of November 13th, 2017. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because the art is definitely time to work.
Hi, this is Leave It Bates, aka Blue Pants, and you're watching WGS-TV.
What's up guys, I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, and joining me today on this week's Monday Night Raw review, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our resident music mogul over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Got my cup of coffee, so let's have some fun with this.
Now, before I get started on the review this week, yesterday was my father's birthday, and with things in my personal life being the way that they are right now, I was unable to get him a gift, or even attend his party due to my current health and pain issues. Now, I know my father doesn't watch my channel, or any of my videos, because he's not a gamer or a wrestling fan. But I would still like to say happy birthday to him, and forever decree him as WrestleDad here on my channel, and it would mean a lot to me to see some happy birthday WrestleDad comments in the comment section below. Now, with Survivor Series coming up this week, there were a lot of loose ends on the Raw side of things that needed to be addressed, like who would be the final member of the Raw women's team, and with the announcement of John Cena being the final member of Team SmackDown Live, just what kind of response would we see from Monday Night Raw? Lance, here's my question. How was Cena a part of the blue team when last time I checked he was on Monday Night Raw?
Well, this is why I think it's bullcrap, because they have Cena listed as free agent, which that means, oh, Vince McMahon's like, oh, hell, where I can bring John Cena back to any show that's on the dang low end of the ratings, and I'll boost it up, because I'm Vince McMahon and he's John Cena.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, where's the logic in that WWE creative? Here's the problem. There is none. The morons at WWE Creative believe that we, the fans, are too dang ignorant to remember that Cena was bumped over to Raw earlier this year for his feud with Roman Reigns, and yet they make the move to put him back on SmackDown with no reason whatsoever. Now, I'm not a Cena hater. Far from it. I respect the guy. But the move just boggles my mind. Anyway, let's get off of that and talk about Raw. McMahon would open up Raw to start promoting Survivor Series this weekend and called out Kurt Angle about his choice selection for his teams and his intentions, in particular Kurt Angle's intention of starting the match, and challenged Shane McMahon to do the same. Stephanie, being the heel commissioner that she is, didn't think that Angle had it anymore, and before she could finish her last statement to Angle, out would come the Shield to a huge ovation to interrupt her and stick up for Angle. Lance, what's been your opinion on the reuniting of the Shield and how it's gone so far?
Well, we've only seen the Shield back together for around about a week until Roman got that illness. But I kind of got originally I thought probably bad timing for one reason. If they're trying to do this to get Roman over, it's like, hey, he just beat John Boy at a pay-per-view the night before, right? So, this big push, hey, let's put him back with the guys he came in with. But after that, after they had a little bit of time for it, I'm kind of digging it.
Shield would also put out a challenge to the New Day, who were technically responsible for costing them the Tag Team Championship last week, and later in the evening, all three members of the New Day took to Twitter to accept the challenge of the Shield for Survivor Series. I also noticed that the fans weren't booing Roman Reigns as much as they used to now that the Shield are back together. I'm just saying. My score on this one, Lance, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. But you got to remember one thing with they're not booing him as much. He has Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins with him. He's going to get a little bit of leeway right now.
Oh yes, definitely. Opening match this week would be a triple threat match to determine the final member of the Raw Women's Survivor Series team, as it was Mickie James versus Dana Brooke versus Bayley, who appeared to me to be the obvious choice considering how much they were playing her up on commentary, but they were also playing up Mickie James and the fact that she's undefeated at that pay-per-view. Lance, at this part of the show, we already have 4 members of the team announced. Alicia Fox is the team captain for some odd reason. Nia Jax, Asuka, and Sasha Banks. What were your opinions on the team up to that point?
Well, I was like, why the hell is Alicia Fox the captain? But other than that, yeah, we got the crazy Japanese chick. We got the boss and the big old monster woman. No offense to Nia, you just a big girl, and well, everybody else ain't big. So.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
Honestly, I was expecting a certain pale individual to come out and steal this match.
Oh, yes.
Even though it has been confirmed she was backstage.
Now, I don't have the exact stats right now or the time, basically, to look them up about Mickie James, but if someone out there wants to put Mickie James' actual Survivor Series stats in the comments, you're more than welcome to. Now, as far as the rumors of Paige's return, that's what they are right now. It's just rumors. Now, I don't know why WWE doesn't want to pull the trigger as of late. Maybe they're trying to find the right time. But who knows when WWE will actually greenlight Paige returning to WWE. Only time will tell. The rest of the Raw women's team were present at ringside, and at one point during the match, Asuka was trying to help Dana Brooke up and got smacked in the face, for which it was a big mistake on her part, in my opinion, as the former NXT Women's Champion chased her down and took her out of the match with one roundhouse kick. Now, Lance, I know you didn't follow NXT as much as I do. And for those of you who don't know or don't remember, the 2 women Asuka was feuding with her NXT debut were Emma, who is now currently unemployed with the WWE, and Dana Brooke, who is somehow miraculously still employed. Just figured I would mention that here. Now, as for the match itself, it was a very decent one, with the finish being Bayley hitting the Bayley to belly on Mickie James to pick up the win and become the final member of the Raw Women's team for Survivor Series. Now, Lance, this is just my reasons. Don't judge me. But I'm pulling for the Raw team just because Asuka's on there. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
We would expect nothing less, Billy.
Up next, it was Enzo, Amore, and Drew Gulak, who are apparently against the fans chanting, taking on Akira, Tozawa, and the former Cruiserweight Champion Kalisto. Now, I believe the anti-chant gimmick is something that they're playing into for the Amore Kalisto angle over the Cruiserweight title. However, Lance, I'm still kind of scratching my head over how they're using Drew Gulak, but at least we could say, you know, they're using him. It's better than not being on TV, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. It's better than being relegated to just straight up 205.
Yep, definitely. The finish of the match was Enzo hitting the Jawdonezo on Tozawa to pick up the win. Now, do I think Amore will retain the championship this Sunday? I'll talk about that on my predictions video coming up later this week. Lance, I'm scoring that a 2.75 out of 5.
Yeah, it's alright. I'll give it a 2.5.
Up next, it was MizTV with the new Raw Tag Team Champions, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus. How long, Lance, are they going to have Cesaro talk with that mouthpiece in his mouth?
Well, until he feel like he don't want to get kicked in the mouth anymore.
Yep, and I heard a rumor that they actually made a T-shirt with Cesaro's face with the teeth cut out. Like he's a Thwith, like he was a Thwith Cyborg or something like that. But anyway, to sum up this,
if that's the case, it's gonna be a while till he loses that mouthpiece.
Yep. To sum up this segment, basically, Miz cut a promo against Baron Corbin, even though it's still unknown at this time if he'll retain the United States Championship, as he'll be defending it against Sin Cara tonight on SmackDown Live. And let's just say if he loses to Sin Cara, what does that say about Baron Corbin's character in WWE right now? It's gonna plummet. But that's just my personal opinion.
Well, that's if Sin Cara doesn't botch.
Well, he hasn't really for the past 3 weeks. He hasn't botched anything against Baron Corbin.
Well, then there was.
But then again, this
the
is
injury.
This is Honeycomb Sin Cara. This is not Mystico Sin Cara.
Did you see that foot of his leg going every which way but the right way?
Yep. And as for the Bar cutting a promo on the Usos, well, there wasn't very much to work with from my perspective. I don't know if you saw that, Lance, but they really didn't say much about the Usos, like, other than they're ready for the Uso Penitentiary or something to that extent.
I'll put it like this. When it comes to MizTV, in most cases, it's usually drier than stale bread.
Well, Miz, at least he knows how to talk.
Kinda.
Okay, yep.
He knows how to use his vocal cords.
Yeah. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. They would also cut a promo on the Shield and ruining their reunion by beating them in their match, and we'll discuss that when we get to it in the review. But I'm going to give the segment. I thought it was surprisingly okay. A 3 out of 5.
I'll give it a 1 because I don't like the MizTV.
Up next, it was Jason Jordan taking on Bray Wyatt. This is one of the matches made by Kurt Angle as a way of getting Jordan to actually prove himself in everyone's eyes. But from my perspective, I gotta say this, Lance. It was good to see Wyatt back, and he didn't look any worse for wear after going through that viral infection that took him and Roman Reigns out of TLC just a couple of weeks back.
Yeah. Hell, he took about half the Raw roster out.
Yep. But I gotta say this. Jordan looked good as always. I've never had a bad thing to say about him. I don't know about you, Lance, but to me, I was always impressed with what Jason Jordan had to do.
Yeah, I mean, his in-ring ability, wonderful, but the character, the actual gimmick they have him doing, needs some work.
Yep, as obvious from the fan reaction, because the fans were actually more in the corner of Bray Wyatt than they were Jason Jordan. And Wyatt, he really looked like he didn't have any ring rust on him after being absent from the ring due to his illness. Now, Jordan would score a roll-up pin to get the win, but then would get attacked and injured by Bray Wyatt, which met with a huge ovation from the Raw crowd last night. Now, how would this affect his standing on the Raw Survivor Series team? Well, just like from earlier, we'll tell you about that when we get to that point in the show. I'm going to give it a 2.75 out of 5, and I gotta say, I personally have never been through something like viral meningitis or a viral infection as bad as what Reigns, Wyatt, and about half the roster went through. But I have to imagine that it was a trying couple of weeks, because whenever you come down with something like that, Lance, 95% of the time you're in the hospital.
Well, yeah, but then again, you got to remember, WWE has probably a lot of excellent doctors, and one of the reasons I think they could have brought Bray Wyatt back and he looked so good. Remember, JoJo and Bo Dallas, who, let's face it, that's Bray's girlfriend and his brother. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're back, what, about 2-3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
He might have just been using that time to get sand a little bit of that rust off. Because we ain't really seen Bo Dallas compete. I don't believe he's just been in that suit, I believe.
Something like that. Up next, it was Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, who, as usual, did most of the talking and did what he does oh so well. And that's sell up not only Lesnar, but also AJ Styles, as well as for Survivor Series. Lance, what's been your personal reaction to not only what happened last week with AJ Styles winning the WWE Championship, but now the announcement of this new match of Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles at Survivor Series?
Well, AJ winning the NXT title, it's about freaking time, because I was wondering more than our Blue Blazes this daggum
Lance,
India tour was going to be.
Lance, slight correction. WWE Championship, not NXT Championship.
I thought I said WWE.
No, it was NXT.
Oh, okay. But the NXT title, damn it, the WWE title, and, well, it is what it is, but with the the Brock versus AJ match, honestly, it's going to make for a better world champion versus world champion match, because let's face it, everybody was making fun of the whole if Jinder Mahal versus Bray Wyatt with like the Rocky meme, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah. Which pretty much answers my next question, that do you believe that we traded up since now that AJ Styles is the WWE Championship? And I have to agree, it is a big trade up, because I believe Styles, when you compare the caliber of talent Styles is to Jinder Mahal, as we passionately call him on here, Steroids Mickie, Styles is basically heads and tails better than Jinder Mahal, and he's proved it for years. Now, for some strange reason, I don't know if you caught this, but someone decided to propose to his girlfriend during the promo, and fans started chanting, "She said yes." And I loved how Heyman responded about interrupting his promo was paramount to getting in the ring with Lesnar, and that they didn't have a chant. Now, I might be misquoting a few words, but you kind of get the general idea, don't you, Lance?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's kind of like proposing at the Super Bowl. Some people want to do their whole proposing thing big, and hey, there you go.
Heyman knows how to think on his feet, and being able to do that live on the spot last night showed that very well. Basically, the whole segment was a huge selling point for Styles versus Lesnar for Survivor Series, and was done quite well. Lance, I gotta give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh, definitely. I mean, hell, in this case, they can actually work the AJ and Brock can actually work the David versus Goliath angle. What the hell was Jinder Mahal gonna do?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But anyway, up next it was the Shield taking on the Miz and the Bar, which was essentially the match we were supposed to get at TLC, minus Kane, Strowman, and the TLC rules and environment. And just like with Wyatt, Reigns looked in fantastic shape and no worse for wear after going through the viral infection that plagued both him and Reigns and half the Raw roster. I will say this, Lance, overall it was a good match, but not really too many spots to talk about other than the finish, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I've said this before and I said it again, everybody knows I'm a big Dean Ambrose fan. I like how he goes just that little bit more crazy when he's with his brothers.
Yep. And speaking of that, the finish of the match was the Shield hitting the triple powerbomb on the Miz to pick up the win. I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5 on this one, Lance.
I'd give it a 4. Then again, like I say, fanboy for Dean, so now there's that.
Up next, this has got to be considered probably a huge shock, because it's not very often that WWE can pull a swerve out of nowhere. Because usually I can see something coming from WWE, but what followed with this segment with Kurt Angle, who had to make an announcement about his son's injury, and I put that up in quotations, son, and not being able to compete at Survivor Series, really just came out of nowhere. Now, Jason Jordan came out hobbling to make his case and plead with Angle to not take him out, which first brought out the heel commissioner Stephanie McMahon to order Angle to make the announcement, and for once, in a huge surprise, and I don't know if you saw this coming, Lance, but I did not, we would hear Triple H's music and pretty much shock everyone by announcing that he himself would be replacing Jason Jordan on the Raw Men's Survivor Series team. I gotta ask you, Lance, what's your reaction to that?
Thank God. To be honest, because I'm sorry, you look at the roster, I mean, the lineup for both Survivor Series teams, one guy sticks out as he don't belong there. And Jordan, I hate to, Jason Jordan, I'm sorry, but one of these things just doesn't belong here, and that would be you.
Jordan would attempt to plead his case to the COO, for which he would get pedigreed for his troubles, which met with a huge crowd response. Either the fans enjoyed seeing the game back, or the fans were starting to turn on Jason Jordan. But for the shock value alone, Lance, I'm going 4 out of 5.
Definitely. But look at, when you see him right about to do the pedigree, Triple H was actually trying to get Kurt to crack.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Because if you look, you could kind of hear him mouth, "That's your kid? Seriously, that's your kid?" And Kurt cannot look at him.
Yeah, I know. Triple H is kind of like notorious for trying to get the others to crack under character.
Anybody from back in the day Hell, they're one of the few people that can make Undertaker crack.
Yep. The only other time I've seen Undertaker slightly crack, if you think back to his feud with CM Punk, and when Punk dropped the urn, and Undertaker kind of had to look down, biting his lip in a sense.
Like, the click used to make Undertaker had to throw his hair in front of his face.
Yep, but anyway, following that, it was Finn Balor and Samoa Joe taking on the Club, aka Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This was the second match put together by the Angle to force Balor and Joe to get along for the sake of the Raw Survivor Series team, and it didn't look like at first it was going to go that way with how rough the match started, but it did finish out quite nice, Lance, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. Although, I gotta say, WWE Creative, for the love of God, will you quit treating Anderson or Gallows and Anderson like jobbers?
Exactly, which was one of the points I was going to make. But here's one question, Lance. Will we see the Demon King at Survivor Series?
I'm about a 75% sure we won't, but it would not surprise me.
And here's another question, though. Will Samoa Joe turn on the Raw team and on Balor come this Sunday?
That's a good question.
And we'll talk about that more in depth on the predictions video that will be coming out later this week. The finish of the match was Balor hitting the coup de grace on Anderson to pick up the win, and just like Lance has already stated, Gallows and Anderson could be so much more, given their track record from New Japan, but I just don't agree with how WWE is using them right now. I'm going to give the match a 3 out of 5, Lance.
Yeah. And honestly, if they keep getting used like this, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if they start making a callback to New Japan.
Yeah, but again, sometimes they just do what they do for the pay, and you know, if the pay is good, then
yeah. But if it hurts your overall everywhere,
yeah. Finally, it was time for the main event and the final match that Angle made earlier in the evening, as it was the Monster Among Men Braun Strowman taking on the Big Red Machine Kane. And to say this match got out of hand straight from the start, Lance, would be a huge understatement to say the least.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we had tables, Kane was using a chair, and even at one point attempted to chokeslam Strowman from the corner, but Strowman would break free and come down with a double axe handle to stun the former WWE Champion, and would then proceed to power slam Kane right through the ring, which brought the crowd to their feet to end Raw for this week. Lance, can you remember the only other time in WWE history on Monday Night Raw when someone got power slammed through the ring?
No, but I can actually, I know the direct origins of that through the ring spot.
Are you going to go back to 1999?
That would be Bam Bam Bigelow versus Taz in ECW.
There's that as well, but on Monday Night Raw, back in 1999, when the Big Show was challenging The Undertaker for the WWE Championship at the time, Big Show chokeslammed The Undertaker through the ring.
Yeah.
So, I wonder how many people out there actually remember that. But I gotta say, it was a great spot, and talk about a great way to end the match, because it was kind of stale at the beginning. But I gotta say this, it was a good finish of sorts, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely, because I've heard Kevin Nash say this. When you got two guys that big trying to work with each other, they're not used to working with somebody their own size. It's kind of hard for them to do it. So what are you going to do? You kind of got to figure out what to help figure ways around stuff.
Yep. Overall, I'm going to, by the way, the main event, I'm going to giving it a 3.95 out of 5.
Well, I'll give it a 3.5.
Overall score of Raw this week gets a 3.5 out of 5, with best segment of the night going to the return of the Game, Triple H, with worst segment of the night going to whatever the hell Drew Gulak was saying. Can anybody actually tell me what he was saying? Because I don't know. I mean, if there's ever been a definition of a square, Drew Gulak's gimmick right now fits that.
Yeah. Well, my best moment of the night was when the Shield were coming down the ring to the ring for their match. The dude that tried to basically, I don't know, get involved with the entrance, security grabbed his ass and threw him back.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to try to go back on Raw and see if I can find that. But
and worse, Dana Brooks' luck. She pissed off a bandsaw.
Anyway, guys and gals, that's been our thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. We'll know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? Definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Well, every Wednesday I go live with Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up. And also on Friday, well, I probably got a couple more videos of this series because I kind of try to wrap up my Redneck Gourmet thing by Thanksgiving, and since that's in a couple of weeks. I think I got nachos this week. And don't forget, every Thursday in the HWR chat room, the Hardcore Crew goes live, so we will. And don't forget, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's @LanceMossTV.
By the way, I do remember a certain douchebag reporting y'all on Facebook for showing the pay-per-view when.
Oh, we're not talking about that.
Okay. I just want to express my displeasure for the troll that did that to you, and how unhappy I am of doing that, because it was even said on the screen, we will not show the pay-per-view, and this idiot.
Pay your $9.99, dumbass.
But anyway, be sure you guys follow me on mixer.com/WGS-TV. I live stream every day. And also, if you guys want to see more of wrestling talk with awesome gameplays right here on the channel, you know the two ways you got to do it. You got to link drop the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications. That way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So with my special thanks to Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, I'm your friendly neighborhood wrestling gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to stay awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.